Hello? Okay. Hi. So, I just got an idea, and I want to do my idea right now before I forget, or get demotivated, or write it down and then get distracted by something else that I wanted to do and never get it done. So, this is my idea. I'm going to play the game where you have like a list of topics, and you pick one, and I'm going to use a spinny wheel from this website to pick, and you have to talk about the topic you land on for 60 seconds, and you can't stop, and you can't like deviate and go to a different topic. Yeah, I thought with my ADD, I'd be pretty good at it, and it might be fun because I like talking, and it would give me ideas for things to talk about, whereas if I just sit in front of the camera and say, so, if I do a vlog, I need to talk about myself. What should I talk about? So this was an idea for a fun way to do that. So first I'm going to make all of the options, and I'll probably just go past that really fast, so. Montage music. Alright. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. And start. Oh, and I also need a timer. Oh, shoot. I'm not looking. Okay. Okay. Vitamins. Alright, vitamins. So, my mom has tried to get me to take a multivitamin. She gave me one that was like this big, and there was, like 200 in there, and they're like a woman's daily supplement. There's lots of really good ones, and she had one that had iron specifically, because that's supposed to be something that I was gonna be low on, I don't know, for some reason. And whenever I tried to take a pill, even breaking it in half, even after a good meal, which is how they say you're supposed to take them usually, I would throw up. I mean, I'm taking this vitamin, and I'm trying to be healthy, but it would literally make me throw up, and I don't throw up very easily. I'd have to be, like, really sick, food poisoning, and I could probably count the times that I've thrown up, like, probably more than 10, because I've lived long enough to have more than one food poisoning thing. But how am I going to see if this stops me? Okay. Interesting. Okay. That was the first one. Alright. Oh man, I look sleepy. Okay. Bali! Oh, sweet. Okay, so, reset. Start. When I was about 9 years old, we visited Bali for the first time. It was when we lived in Indonesia, because my parents were missionaries, and that was where we served overseas. So Bali is an island, and one of the biggest cities is Denpasar. And when we went there, we were there for a conference with other missionaries, just to chat and talk, but also I got to hang out with all the kids. It was like so much fun, and we were at a nice, big, huge hotel, and I'd never been to a beach resort like that. And we actually did 2 different things there, like 2 different times. I think I went again when I was like 11. And I had a really fun time. And the first time, there weren't that many tourists there because they had just had bombings that had happened. So everybody was scared, but we still went. So it was like things weren't very busy, or we didn't have too many long lines to stand in. I think we went to... Excuse me. Okay, pine cones. I have collected pine cones since I was probably, maybe in elementary school even. I most recently visited the place where I lived when I was 5 years old. We had lived there since I was like a baby, so we'd lived there for about 5 years, maybe a little bit less. And I was driving down to visit my grandparents, and I stopped by because I had some extra time. And it was so cool. I knew the town that I lived in, and I knew the general area, and I could remember the name of the road that took me towards where my old house was, because we'd visited someone in that area recently, like within the past 3 years, so I had some memories, And I was just driving on a road, just trying to find something that looked like where I used to live. And when I did get there, I knocked on the door and asked if I could take some pictures out in the backyard, because I used to live there like 14 years ago, and the guy was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I went, and I took pictures, and I took a pine cone, and I have it in my car. Okay. Cinderella. Alright. So, I would say my favorite Disney princess is Cinderella. But, more than that, I had to write on my paperwork for a new job at a movie theater that I just did because I just got a new job like a week ago, week and a half. And I had to write down my favorite movie because it was going to be on my name tag, and I still haven't gotten that name tag because I just work in the kitchen, in the dish room, because I'm a dishwasher, and we don't have to have name tags. But anyway, I put Cinderella 1950 because the original Cinderella cartoon is just great. It's one of those ones I can watch anytime and just love it. Kind of like The Incredibles, or Princess Bride, or what's another one? There's just movies where I watch them and it just makes me think about the way that it affected me, like, when I was little and I first saw it, and how it reflects part of who I am. Yeah, it's a fun one. Okay. I don't know why I did a 10-second spin. I thought 5 seconds sounded too short. Latin class. Okay. So, 9th grade. I had to take a language class in high school. I was at an online school, and I could pick from a variety of languages, and my mom wanted me to take Mandarin because, a billion people in the world speak Chinese. It would be great if you could learn it, especially because of where we lived. A lot of people spoke Mandarin. I didn't really want to because I know it was a tonal language, which means you can mess up what you're saying if you say it with it going or like just weird stuff with the language. And I wanted to learn Latin because it just made me think about people in the books that I'd read that had to learn Latin for reading old books, like I can't think of the name of it, but like thinking about people that learned other languages. They started with Latin and they like analyzed other languages along with Latin. Anyway, I chickened out within the 2-week period of when you can get your money back for a class. I didn't want to do Mandarin anymore, and I told Mom, and and I got to do a Latin class. And I continued to have Latin for 3 more years, and I even have... I used to have... Oh, I do! I have my Latin dictionary just sitting next to my couch because there's a lot of dust. Can't move that. I should probably dust one place. I have a little Swiffer duster. Anyway, other topic. Spinner. Interior decorating. I don't know why I chose this as a topic, but wait, no, I did have a 10% turn here. Alright, so I had an app on my phone that I discovered was actually able to be found on a computer. I found it in the App Store. It was actually like $6, but I bought it because it was awesome. And it's one where you can design a floor plan of a house. They had like a huge selection of different pieces of furniture that you could put in the game and like change the texture, which was like the color of whatever it was. So you could have like a couch that was a color you didn't really like. You could even import your own images as a texture, and it was really fun. I used it to make like a dream house, and I also made a version of my own apartment. I even borrowed a tape measure from Alex's mom so that I could get the exact dimensions of my apartment so I could make it accurate. It's really fun. And interior decorating, I think, would be a fun job, but it takes a lot of work, like pushing things around and painting walls and stuff. How many categories did I make? It's okay. I'm having fun. Jeez. So, cheese is something that Americans love to put on everything. And I can say Americans because I didn't completely grow up here. I love cheese though, so I get it. Like, we used to have to buy big, huge, like 3-pound blocks of mozzarella and cheddar in a different city and have like, you know, if someone was visiting that city, they would take orders from everybody who wanted some cheese because they actually sold cheese there. It was the same thing with getting a turkey for Thanksgiving when we lived in Indonesia because we couldn't get one in our city. It was too small. But yeah, cheese is like, it's really, really special that we had cheese. And Mom would get enough that we could do pizzas on Friday nights. She would have to grate the mozzarella cheese herself, and I remember putting it in a big gallon-sized bag after it was grated in the freezer. And it would just, it's really nostalgic to me thinking about how cheese was really rare and special back then. Some of these are going in a different direction than I originally thought when I wrote them down, which is kind of cool. Pencils. Okay. Yeah. So, you know how sometimes you sharpen a pencil too much, or you use one in school so often that you've sharpened it and it gets down to be really, really small? Well, I had a collection of tiny pencils. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they are. They're probably in like an old zipper pouch of pencils somewhere, or a Ziploc bag that I've got stashed away somewhere. It's probably in a memory box. But I always saved the teeny tiny pencils. So did Ricky. Actually, I might have given him my smallest ones. But I think that my intention was to use them for some kind of craft. But I never did. So, bag of pencils, if you're out there, I did mean to use you for something. And oh, I'm hearing my coffee maker making sounds because I didn't turn it off. Oh dear, I'm going off topic. Pencils. Did I even start the timer? Yes, I did. Okay. That was kind of hard. Okay. I'm just gonna start a new one. Just gonna keep going until I fizzle out. Keep drinking my old coffee. Actually, I don't think that is my coffee maker. Okay. Oh. Purses. Alright. So, I never liked purses. I don't know, middle school I was like, is too girly. I don't want to be so girly like that. Like, I'm a tomboy. I use a backpack. I put stuff in the pockets of my coat. And like, even into high school, I hated purses. Mom was like, someday you're gonna have to get your own purse. You're gonna have to use it. You're gonna have to keep your money in your wallet and your ID in there and take it with you because you'll have to have it. And I'm like, oh, Mom, okay. And we ended up, we went to the store that I worked at during the summer, and I got a purse, and it's actually the one that I'm still using, even though it got a tear in the outside, and then like the lining was like coming out, and so you could like accidentally lose something. It's between the lining of the inside of the purse and then the outside leather, faux leather of the purse. But like a week before Christmas, Alex's mom gave me an old one, an old purse that she hadn't really used. And then the strap broke, so I had to put the whole thing in my old purse so that I could actually carry the purse. So I never got a new one. But my purse is huge. I have so much stuff in there. I'm like ready for the zombie apocalypse. M&Ms. So I think of M&Ms and I think of the joke about, oh, do you like M&Ms? Eminem. Anyway, it's about the wrapper. It's like, you eat the wrapper? Gross. No, not the wrapper. I can't remember, but oh, I remember we used to get like a candy cane that had M&Ms in it, and they were just green and red M&Ms. And then sometimes for Christmas or just for special things, somebody would buy us somewhere at a store that was like things were expensive, but you could get more American things there. This is back when we were in Indonesia again. The little tube of like mini M&Ms, and those were like so much fun. You could just like pop the lid off and get out a few tiny M&Ms, and I swear the tiny ones tasted better than the big ones somehow. Like, I think it's because they had more of the candy casing around them because they were smaller volume, but the candy casing is still the same. Yeah. Okay. That one was kind of fun. A little bit random. Really random. It still hasn't given me the thing that's relevant to like gaming channel stuff. Okay. Purple, and it didn't even make the color of that spinner purple. Alright. So, purple. I love purple. My hair is purple. I actually, when I was in middle school, my favorite colors were blue and purple. Blue kind of being the top. But I painted my walls in my room blue and purple. And later I ended up painting trees on the walls. And since the purple wall was close enough to blue, it was still good enough for a sky. So it was like a sky blue and these trees and other stuff. But yeah, purple, like, it's gonna be one of the colors in my wedding. I ended up liking purple again because when I was gonna dye my hair, I wanted it to be blue, but sometimes blue will turn into green, but purple will fade after time into silvery color, which is better than your hair turning green. So I put purple in my hair, and now I really like purple because I've realized what a lovely color it is, and yes, I love purple pens. That was a good one. Alright, we're getting down to the last 7, maybe? Yeah. Oranges. Alright, I don't really have a special attachment to oranges, which is weird that I wrote it down, but I was just randomly going through things. When we were here, when my parents were visiting me at my apartment, she got some oranges, and they were fun to, open. I always love peeling oranges. Sometimes I like to try to peel it so that I have it all within one piece, so the orange peel isn't like scattered little shapes, but like a weird shape because of a sphere being opened. Also, I love how my fingers smell after I've peeled an orange. And Mom said that the essential oil for orange is supposed to be good for like depression, which sounds pretty cool to me. Also, oranges are really good for soda. I like orange soda. I'm really stretching it here, trying to find something to talk about. Oranges are pretty colors. They go well with apples and bananas when you have them in your fruit basket on your table. But if the bananas are too close and the orange is kind of old, then the banana might kind of fail. Oranges. Did I even start my timer? Oh my gosh! I'll have to time that later. See if I went for a minute or not. I'm pretty sure it was more than a minute, which is why I fizzled out. And it had to be the one where I was talking about oranges, which was the... I don't feel like I have an emotional connection to oranges. Like, they're not a piece of my soul, specifically. Unlike some other things that I've talked about, like purple. 7th grade. So, the first 3 months of 7th grade, do you know where I was? I was in Florida, and I started at this private school. It was a Christian school, and on the first day of 7th grade, I didn't really know where the gym was, so I was following these guys down the stairs because they had talked about going to gym class after our first class, which was English. So I thought I was really smart figuring out where my room was just by, following some people that knew where it was. Like, I didn't even have to ask anybody. I was just using my intuition. Anyway, I followed the guys all the way till they went into the boys' locker room, which did not have a sign on the door, so I walked straight in, went around this, corner that they put there so you can't just see straight into the boys' locker room when you open the door. I walked all the way in, not thinking it was weird that they hadn't really held the door open for me. And I didn't even realize till the gym teacher was like, "You're supposed to be with Miss Crawford," after I'd stood there for 5 seconds of confusion. Why does someone have their shirts on? Oh, I'm not supposed to start it yet. Oh my gosh. This is just devolving into... I don't even know. Okay. Painting. So, I already mentioned when I painted my room in Indonesia. That was really cool. I did that probably 5th, 6th grade, part of 7th, when we got back from the States. And there was part of it that was 8th grade too. I still paint. Somehow, painting is something that I've continued to do. I had a watercolor class that my mom taught us out of a book in 5th grade, or 4th, it was 4th grade. Lately I've been painting. I could even put in a picture of what I've been painting. It's pretty cool. I love just putting colors on the page in a way that they can blend, but also putting more colors than you would think you would need. When I'm already painting in red, adding a little bit of orange that goes into yellow and back. Yeah, I just think that it's a really cool challenge. I love painting. Alright. Why did I get such a big handful of these? Whiteboards. Cool. Okay. So, right now, from where I'm sitting, I can see the whiteboard over there by my window, and the whiteboard that is hanging on the pantry door. And those are only 2 of the 3 whiteboards that I have. But I love whiteboards because you can just draw whatever you want in a big marker, and sometimes it's fun to draw with Sharpies for the same reason. But with Sharpies you can't erase it, at all. And you can't erase with a big marker either, but you can erase with pencil. So it's kind of like taking the best parts about Sharpies and the best parts about pencils and putting them into one. Because on a whiteboard, you can erase stuff, but it's still big and it looks cool. It's also fun for making lists. Did I start my timer? I think I did. And right now, that whiteboard has a list of all the things that I think are important to have in my wedding, which is an obvious thing. And they're ranked by how important they are to me, related to other things. Whiteboards, y'all. Alright. Getting to the last 3. Maybe it'll go on the roll. Yeah. All right. So, little over a year ago, my boyfriend's best friend, which is... Okay, anyway, Sam got a Switch when they came out, and he got Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I'd watched him play a lot, and it was so much fun. So cool to see all the different ways you could play the game. Also, sometimes when you're watching someone play something and they're messing up and not getting it, you feel like, oh, if I could just be playing right now, then we could finally get through this shrine that's like setting him back for like, he's getting stuck on it. But I got to play on his Switch, and it was so much fun. And Alex got me a Switch for my birthday, which is December. So 2017, December, I got one. And since December of 2017, so that's like about 14 months now, I have over 370 hours in the game. I love it so much. Open world, beautiful, the grass is just... Alright. Bum, 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 bum. Coffee! So, this is an interesting fact. The first cup of coffee that I ever had, not the first sip of coffee, which was when I was in like kindergarten and my mom gave me a sip as we were going down to the bathhouse. It was at missionary training. And we didn't have Anyway, I just sipped some of her coffee and I didn't like it. Because it wasn't very sweet. But the first time that I had my own cup of coffee where I fixed it and did whatever I wanted to it was when we lived in Java. Yeah, my first cup of Java was in Java. Anyway, I had coffee in this. It had some hazelnut flavored coffee and just normal coffee, some unflavored stuff that I put together when I made it. Just so the hazelnut doesn't like overcome it. And I also put some of the pumpkin pie spices, except I don't think I put cloves in it. Anyway, I love coffee, I'm addicted, and it helps my EDD. Alright. Nope. I keep doing that. Alright. What's a good place? Actually, don't. Dictionaries. So I already mentioned my Latin to English dictionary that I've got here. I also have a dictionary that I got way back. Like, I think that I was in 7th or 8th grade. 8th grade. I think it was in 8th grade. There were a bunch of books that the little tiny library for the little homeschool group was getting rid of. And one of them was a dictionary. Like, not a Webster's, it was a college dictionary. And I don't remember the name. Maybe it is a Webster's. I think it is a Webster's. Anyway, I just got to have my very own dictionary. I would bring it with me to school sometimes, because I would use it in English class, and but I have brought that all the way back from Indonesia, because I got it there, and I have it up on my bookshelf, and I like dictionaries. Alright, so, this is cool. So, I don't know how to end videos. I watch enough of them that I should know, but I don't. Anyway, this was just a little bit of me talking. Actually, a lot of me talking. Just a little bit of the topics that I can talk about. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed watching, because I've been told I can be entertaining to listen to or watch because of my reactions to things. Anyway, I'm rambling, just like I have been for the last 30 minutes. And yeah, hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any ideas for anything else for me to talk about. You're awesome. Hi, Ricky. And everybody else, see you next time.